Hello everyone, welcome to my first ever Jurassic World Alive video. In today's video, I'm going to be showcasing to you 4 of the 7 new hybrids that were released in the 2.10 update. These are the ones that I've, recently unlocked in the update, and some of them look really cool, others not so much. But some just look so out there, and I will get to that in a minute. But if this video does well and you want me to do more videos like these, let me know in the comment section down below. Over here we've got a beautiful shot of the Argentorex Gen 3. It looks ready for battle. Now this guy is like really good. I use him all the time. I mean, he was modified to get the horns that we were promised in 2.8, but we didn't get. He got the horns in 2.9, so I might change the intro to make it so he has the horns. But one thing I've noticed, the one with the horns, the colors aren't as vibrant. Like, I really love the green and the yellow. But yeah, let me know what you think. I really like the Gen 3 Argentorex. It's a really good creature. But that's not why we're here today. Today we're going to be taking a look at 4 of the 7 new hybrids that were recently released in 2.10. But yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, let's first take a look at the elephant in the room, or should I say the sloth in the room. This hybrid is one of the weirdest looking hybrids I have ever seen. It looks so outlandish. I mean, is this Jurassic World or something entirely different? This creature is just some Monster Hunter territory right here. This first hybrid is a cross between the giant sloth known as the Megalotops and the cousin to the Triceratops known as the Glyptoceras. It is an epic and it's classed as a wild card. Wild card means that the creature can stand up for itself against any kind of opponent, regardless of the type, because it doesn't really have any counters. Not very fast, but has abilities that can increase its speed. Please welcome one of the weirdest looking hybrids in the game, the Megalotops. That was the Megalotops. What are my thoughts on it? As weird looking as it is, it actually has a really good moveset. I mean, it's not very fast, but it has the camouflage ability, which not only makes it quicker, but it also gives it a chance to dodge hits. But that didn't really matter in this battle, because the Argentorex could just go for its resilient strike and nullify my speed and nullify my dodge. So yeah, this is not a good matchup for my Megalotops, but if it's up against something like maybe a Thor or a Trico, maybe not a Trico because of its resilient, but definitely a Thor, this thing could be really good. It could pack a wallop, especially with that cautious rampage that it has. I just want to say for the record that the Megalotops kind of reminds me of Mr. Richfield from that one obscure show called Dinosaurs, if you remember that show. It's, Mr. Richfield is Earl Sinclair's very greedy and very mean-spirited boss. That's what this creature reminds me of, and the color gives me those vibes as well. I know those are the colors of the Argentorex, but still, Overall, it is only an epic hybrid, so it might be for like early game players, but I do suggest, since it's a normal hybrid, to get it to level 15 anyway, just in case it ever gets a super hybrid that could be really good at battles for late game, you know? But yeah, let me know your thoughts on the Megalotops in the comment section down below, and without further ado, let's move on to the next hybrid. This next hybrid is also an epic. It's a flock creature, which means there are 3 of them and they travel in a group. Kind of like the Compsognathus and the Dodos that we got in 2.7. This hybrid is a cross between the giant vulture known as the Argentorex and one of the earliest birds ever discovered known as the Argentorex. This creature is classed as a cunning creature, which means it's a great counter against fierce creatures, such as T-Rex and Baryonyx. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the Argentorex. And that was the Argentorex. My thoughts? It looks a lot cooler and kind of creepy, in my opinion, than the Megalonyx. The Megalonyx just looks very outlandish, but this one actually looks like it could have existed in real life. It kind of reminds me of the Ichthyornis, you know, those prehistoric seagulls that used to live in the Cretaceous period. Those things. It has some moves that can increase its crit chance, which is really good if you want to get easy crits and do as much damage as possible. And they're also very fast, so not a lot of creatures are going to be able to outspeed it, which is really good. So you'll almost always get to go first. Now I've seen some epics that have actually done really well in the battles. Like I see the Thylacotator, which is a cross between the Suchotator and the marsupial lion, and maybe the Sarcorhexis, which is a cross between the Ionosuchus and the Sarcosuchus, and both do really well in the larger meta. So overall, if used correctly, these creatures could do a ton of damage, unless that opponent happens to be a gem and a titan, in which case these things are screwed. I say gem and a titan because its group hits can hit all 3 of the members. But without further ado, let's move on to the third hybrid. This next hybrid is probably my favorite of the 4 because it's a hybrid that, you know, looks like it could have existed in real life. It's a cross between the Glyptodon and the Stegoceras, and it's a legendary hybrid, which means it's a little bit stronger. This creature is classed as both a cunning and a resilient creature, which means it can counter both fierce and cunning creatures, Ladies and gentlemen, I am happy to present to you the glyptoceras. And that was the glyptoceras. My thoughts on it? Really cool looking in my honest opinion. I mean, it's got the glyptodon tail, it's got the quills on its back like the stegoceras does, it's got the flat dome and whatever. It's just overall a really cool looking hybrid, and it looks like a creature that actually could have existed in real life. I would say that this guy could do some damage mid-tier. I mean, it's got the instant charge, which is always really good. It's got something called critical rampage, which is basically a guaranteed crit as long as a cunning creature doesn't, use its cunning moves to get rid of your crit reduction. I don't know, it might be immune to crit reduction. I might have to look that up. Okay, I just looked up the crit reduction, and it has a 50% resistance to crit reduction. The glyptoceras already has a 10% crit chance, which is very low. But the critical rampage allows for a guaranteed critical hit. So if a cunning creature comes along and decides to reduce its crit chance, then instead of being a guaranteed crit, it'll be 50-50. So yeah, you'll have to take it as it comes. You might get the crit, you might not. But anyway, yeah, instant charge is always good, resilient impact is always good, cunning strike is always good. But yeah, anyway, what are your thoughts on the glyptoceras? Let me know in the comment section down below, and without further ado, let's move on to the fourth and final hybrid for today. Okay, so this final creature is a unique, meaning it's one of the top tier creatures. It is a cross between the faroo and the Argentorex Gen 2. The faroo is already a hybrid itself. It's a legendary, and it's a cross between the Argentorex and the Maiasaura. The Argentorex is the terror bird, by the way, in case you didn't know. Speaking of which, this terror bird is absolutely terrifying. and I might think about leveling it up and kind of using it in my arena. That's if I get, more Argentorex Gen 2 DNA, because it requires Argentorex Gen 2, which is also used for Dracoceratops, which is another legendary hybrid, which then can be fused to make Dracoceratosaurus. So yeah, it's pretty complicated. It is classed as both a cunning and a fierce, which means it can counter both fierce and resilient creatures with ease. But without further ado, I present to you the Faroo Rex. And that was the Faroo Rex. What were my thoughts on it? Really good. As ugly as it is, it's really good. It's got the priority rampage move where it can do damage right off the bat regardless if it's faster or not, which really helps out, because you need a creature that can dish out as much damage as possible but be as fast as possible. And I mean, it's already really fast, but you can make it even faster with that critical sidestep, which not only makes you faster, but it also increases your chances of dodging the next hit, and it gives you a guaranteed crit chance. That means you'll get a critical hit in guaranteed, which is really awesome, And basically the Faroosora had something similar to this called Sidestep and Instant Rampage, which are both really good. The Instant Rampage came from its Maiasaura parent, while the Sidestep came from its Farasracus parent. But yeah, I can totally see this creature fitting in the meta. Like, this creature, I'll probably see it a lot more in the PvP battles because it's just that good. It's really fast, really strong, doesn't have a lot of health, but can do a lot of damage. But yeah, let me know what you think of the Faroo Rex in the comment section down below. And yeah, and that is going to have to wrap it up for today's video. If you enjoyed it, be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more. It would really help out a ton. Also, let me know if you want me to do more Jurassic World Alive videos in the comment section down below. But until next time, I will see you guys in the next video. So long!
It was at this moment that he knew.
He was screwed.